From Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 6.
Coming up tonight, stopping the stink. A proposal to better a poultry facility in Gage County failing to pass. What concerns the applicant behind the project is bringing, and why one board member says it would have helped. Plus, Farm Bill moving forward.
You can't talk about affordability without talking about food. And you can't talk about food without talking about the Farm Bill.
Why some say this big measure will benefit rural areas, and what disadvantages others say it could bring. Also tonight, sentimental send-off.
It's been a great run. Thank you, Lincoln, for letting it happen.
The longtime leader of the Lincoln Salt Dogs is looking back at his time as he hangs up the mitts and boosting up business. How the city is giving back to the community impacted by one of their most ambitious construction projects in the downtown area. Well, right now, anticipation and some concern over an approved poultry facility in Gage County. The empty field you see here will soon be the home of Ash Road Poultry, LLC. This all coming after the Gage County Board approved a move to expand the operation near the town of Cortland. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Rod Fowler. We have much more on a story we first brought you at 5 o'clock. Now, to give you some perspective, here's Cortland right here. The facility would be about a 5-minute drive down the road from that town. Now, one of the biggest concerns tonight, the odor these facilities can create. Channel 8's Danielle Da Silva joins us live now from Gage County with more on this. Danielle?
Rod, well, that poultry facility, you can see it in the distance behind me, and all of that area in front of it is where the expansion will happen. Now, people in the community say that they're okay with the facility, but it's the odor being intensified that worries them the most. Now, I spoke with both the owner of the facility that's expanding it here, as well as a commissioner who talks about how the motion to control the odor failed. Emily Haxby is the VP supervisor for Gage County and a fifth-generation farmer. She says odors go hand in hand with raising livestock and hope to get a tree-lined barrier around a poultry center coming to Gage County. She points to scientific studies suggesting these barriers reduce odors up to 16%.
Planting trees as a shelter belt is a very minimal cost, a very minimal responsibility, or something that we can do that has a great impact on the community.
She says although these barriers aren't mandated in Gage County like it is in Lancaster County, the community wants one up. Haxby says putting up one could help the future of farming, adding that being a good neighbor is part of the farming values.
I like to see people trying to be that respectable person, that good neighbor, because it really does make the next applicant that comes in, it makes that a little bit easier, because those people that have a good experience then talk to their neighbors about that good experience, and it just kind of travels better that way.
Ash Road Poultry LLC currently raises free-range chickens for the company Smart Chickens. They have 10 barns up already and plan to add 8 more. With an approved permit, the facility is good to go, but some community members worry it could diminish the appeal to the area.
3 weeks ago, my wife and I had to wake up about 2:15 in the morning and shut our windows because the smell was so bad.
Also,
and who wants to buy a property that has, smell all the time from chicken houses of 18 barns?
Roy Mulder is a farmer and livestock producer for Smart Chickens. He says he learned of the community's concerns at town meetings, but it hasn't impacted his decision on the tree barrier.
We do not want to do anything that would encourage predators that would kill the chickens. Chickens have no defense mechanism other than to sit down and wait for the disaster to happen.
Mulder adds they will have some walls, but the risks aren't entirely gone.
We fence our range areas with a fence to keep them out, but that does not help from an aerial attack.
Another major concern of the community is over water usage. The resident that I spoke to tells me he's noticed a change in the water flow with the current facilities, but Mulder says that if more trees are added, he believes that it would impact water usage even more. Now, this is an ongoing conversation here in the community that we will be following. Reporting live in Gage County, Danielle Da Silva, Channel 8 News.
Thank you for the live report, Danielle. Breaking now, authorities finding the 2 juveniles suspected to be behind some threats to a Seward County school. The sheriff's office believing the 2 were involved in TikTok videos with threats to Centennial public schools. We originally brought you this story 1 week ago tonight. Deputies say TikTok banned the account. Now the 2 juveniles are being referred to the Seward County attorney for any further action. All right, let's talk about your weather now with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins. This is your first forecast. Yeah, what do you say we take a look outside and see how things are going? Are we going to look outside or are we just going to go straight to Rusty? Rusty, you know what? We're not going to look outside because we want to go straight to you.
I wanted to look outside.
Well, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, all right. Well, and I do have a camera coming up here, so we'll look at that here in a minute. But first, we'll get to the frost and freeze alerts right out of the gate because tomorrow morning, there's going to be a chill in the air. So because of that, a frost advisory in place for central and eastern Nebraska Friday morning and probably Saturday morning too. Just a heads up on that. Plenty of cloud cover out there right now, but no precipitation, unfortunately. Temperatures will fall through the 50s into the middle 40s by 11 p.m. There's one of our tower cams. We have a Honda of Lincoln showing 27th and Yankee Hill Road. Little bit of a breeze, plenty of cloud cover, the sun peeking through every now and then, but 56 degrees. We did get to 61 today, but that's a good 8 degrees below average. And that north wind, it kind of had a bite to it today. It's at 16 miles per hour. Plenty of cloud cover and a couple of raindrops on the other side of O'Neill. Otherwise, just mostly to partly cloudy skies and a little chilly. A lot of 50s out there. In fact, everybody is in the 50s as of 6:05 p.m. and a bit of a breeze out of the north at 10 to 20, gusting to around 30 miles per hour in some spots. So a breezy, chilly late April day with those temperatures eventually falling into the 30s, and that wind gust should be dying off as we head through the overnight. We have just a couple of cold days headed our way, and then it gets really warm really fast. The forecast in a few minutes.
Thank you, Rusty. Developing now a major step forward for the new farm bill. Tonight, the U.S. House passing a sweeping new farm bill. It's called the Farm Food and National Security Act of 2026. The bill is drawing both praise and criticism from farmers and families. Channel 8's Meg West has been keeping an eye on this. She joins us from the newsroom with reaction from the Cornhusker State. Hi, Meg.
Hey, good evening there, Rod. Listen, this bill definitely hits close to home. Lawmakers are proposing different changes to these bills that would directly affect farmers and ranchers here in Nebraska, and there's a lot at stake. Supporters of the bill say it accomplishes 3 major goals. First, promoting food security, making sure Americans have access to high-quality, affordable food. Second, the economy. The food and ag industry supports more than 24 million U.S. jobs, and in 2024, the economic impact of the ag supply chain was nearly $10 trillion, or 1/3 of the economy. And lastly, enhancing stewardship, investing in ag research and conservation programs. Some opponents say the bill misses the mark when it comes to food assistance. The group Nebraska for Us says they are deeply disappointed that Nebraska lawmakers voted to advance the bill without reversing cuts made to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, saying more and more families can't afford the rising cost of groceries. Representative Don Bacon voted to pass the bill and says it provides certainty for everyone.
A new farm bill means certainty for farmers, ranchers, and everyone else. Certainty about being around for next year's planting season. Certainty about affording to feed your family. Certainty about Americans being able to feed Americans. And at the end of the day, you can't talk about affordability without talking about food. And you can't talk about food without talking about the farm bill.
As the bill stands now, 72% of the projected spending goes to SNAP, the largest part of the bill by a landslide, with crop insurance and price loss coverage coming in as the next biggest spend categories. And even though it passed the House, the Senate still needs to take it up, which it's expected to encounter a little bit of tension there and maybe some changes made. So the bill as it stands now could definitely look different before it hits law. In the newsroom, Meg West, Channel 8 News.
All right, thank you, Meg. Still ahead on Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock. Turning the corner. After the break, how the city of Lincoln is celebrating a construction project and how you can get in on the party. Stay with us. Nebraska's primaries is quickly approaching, and the Lancaster County Election Commissioner is making sure everyone is prepared to cast their votes in the primary next month. That deadline coming tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And if you're going to register, you're going to need to do it in person right here at the Election Commission office in Lincoln. You're seeing that from citizen journalist Melanie. The primary election is going to be taking place on Tuesday, May 12th. Right now, we're seeing captivating new images of the battle to put out the Pressy fire in central Nebraska. Come and take a look at this. The Nebraska National Guard in action there, helping fight the fire in Custer County. They say the guardsmen rushed there to help as soon as the flames broke out. While some attacked the flames from the ground, others dropping more than 54,000 gallons of water from Black Hawk helicopters. 1 week after the outbreak, some very encouraging news. The fire is now around 95% contained. Officials say it burned close to 10,000 acres of land.
Kind of a chilly day today. We'll do this again tomorrow, but then things really warm up as we head through the weekend and into next week. There's a small rain chance. We'll take a look at that when we come back.
At ymcalincoln.org. The YMCA, for a better us.
A huge block party in the middle of a huge road construction project is happening tonight. A lot of anticipation as many city organizations and businesses along O Street are making posts like these, gearing up for the big night. The mayor marking the milestone as a way to acknowledge the progress on Project O Street and the ambition paving the plan. Channel 8's Jake Holman joins us here in the studio now with more. Jake.
Rod, it's called Project No Street. The city looking to coincide with the improvements made on 14th between N and P. As you can see here, some of the businesses around the area already kind of getting in on the fun with different themes like these for Project O Street. Now, at tonight's party, Lincoln Knights can certainly expect to have a lot of that fun. Now, the question is, where will this fun be had? You can find it right here at the intersection of South 14th and O Street. And you can, well, of course, expect to see the city getting ready for this big night. The festivities will include live music, local bands, and some competitors from The Voice. And the people of Lincoln are also allowed to bring their own lawn chairs. There will be alcohol for sale, but you need to bring your ID to secure a wristband for that party. And the party is actually already underway right now. Parking will also be free, offering free spots at University Square and Eagle. Now, we'll be at the block party tonight talking with Lincoln Knights and the business owners about this event. For now, reporting here in the studio, Jay Coleman, Channel 8 News.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
Kind of a gray day, but the sun peeking through a little bit, like right there. Look at that. That's kind of cool. 21st and L Street, looking at our Allocam. Not a whole lot of traffic going on. It's been a chilly day today. Now, temperatures today and temperatures yesterday, very similar to each other. But a north wind today just had a bite to it. So that was kind of the difference between the 2 days. How about the difference between the last week? This is last week, the drought monitor. Obviously some trouble here. Extreme to severe drought for the western 2/3 of the state, and then a moderate to severe drought for the eastern third of the state. And then some areas not seeing any drought, but it's getting closer and closer. So here's a week later. Yeah, it did not improve. It improved a little bit here. Where there was quite a bit of rain in far southeastern parts of Nebraska just last week. But this is not what you want to see. This is an exceptional drought now for just a spot in parts of the Panhandle. But once you see exceptional, it tends to spread if you don't get any kind of precipitation, and there's not a lot in the forecast. So extreme to now exceptional drought in place for parts of Nebraska, and that's unfortunate because there's not a lot of rain in this forecast. Temperatures right now are on the chilly side, lower and middle and some upper 50s. We're at 59 in Hebron. That's one of the warmer spots. Falls City checking in at 61. That's probably the warmest in the state right now. Everybody else in the 50s. A bit of a north breeze, 10 to 15 or 16 miles per hour for everybody. So a chilly north wind and some wind gusts too. We've got 23 miles per hour in Omaha, 18 in Nebraska City, 30 mile per hour wind gusts in North Platte. So the wind will die off though as we head through tonight, probably after the sun goes down. A lot of cloud cover out there and a peak of sunshine every now and then, and 1 or 2 raindrops. Literally 1 or 2 raindrops in parts of north central and northeast Nebraska. By 11 p.m., nothing. I think everything clears out. That will allow for temperatures to drop. So by 6 a.m., a clear sky, a wind that will be non-existent, and that cool air coming from the north. We're looking at temperatures from one side of the state to the other, really close to that freezing mark. So some frost going to be possible early Friday morning, but we do warm up, similar to today, I think, where we get to really close to 60 degrees before cooling back down for one more night. By Saturday morning, I think that'll be the coldest of the bunch. Then we start to warm our way back up as we head through next week. Rainfall potential, speaking of next week, this is our next chance for rainfall. Maybe some spots seeing 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rainfall by Tuesday evening. We need a lot more than this, but it's a small step in the right direction, hopefully. Temperatures tonight, like I said, really close to that freezing mark, just a degree or 2 above, so that lends itself to a pretty good chance for some frost. So if you've planted any tender vegetation, just a heads up that there's a frost advisory through Friday morning and probably Saturday morning too. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon, upper 50s, lower 60s, below average. But we get back to normal on Saturday, bump up real quick on Sunday to 80, then back down into the 60s, and then it's kind of up and down a little bit, 60s and 70s, and then back into the 80s by the end of next week. But again, just that one chance for rain Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
Thank you, Rusty. New at 5, UNL's Dairy Store unveiling a wild ice cream flavor in their freezers. Believe it or not, what you see here is Runza flavored ice cream. Starting tomorrow, you'll be able to get a pint of sandwich flavored ice cream at both the Lincoln and Waverly location. Runza even making a Facebook post saying, quote, "No one asked for this, but it's here." The people behind the new flavor says the taste will be more accurate than you think.
We used our expertise to develop the flavor. You know, it does have authentic Runza spice in it, and some other things to make it more, you know, taste like a Runza sandwich.
Runza says supplies will be limited at both locations starting tomorrow. Nate, what do you think? Something you'd try?
Maybe. I would try it.
Runza, if you're watching, I'll throw this out there. Okay. What about a Frings flavor? That's where they mix onion rings and French fries. Sure. You'd have that sweet, salty taste. May have something right there. Right now, though, we have ourselves heading into the sports zone. Nate, I know a familiar face, a good guy. He is ready to step away from the spotlight.
Yeah, he is. Lincoln Salt Dogs president Charlie Myers retiring. Hear from the longtime Salt Dogs leader after the break. We'll see you in a few.
Lincoln Mattress and Furniture.
Now, from the Channel 8 Sports Zone, sponsored by Green's Furnace and Plumbing, here's Channel 8 News Sports with Sports Director Nate Johnson. The Channel 8 News Sports Zone.
Well, hey, what's going on? Thanks for tuning into the Sports Zone. Great to have you here. After more than 26 years with the Lincoln Salt Dogs, President Charlie Myers will retire. Myers expressed his gratitude for all the years here in Lincoln today. I had the chance to catch up with him quick, and here are some of the accomplishments during Myers' tenure, appearing in the American Association Wolf Cup Finals in 2009 and 2014, claiming the championship in 2009. Lincoln also hosted the 2003 Northern League All-Star Game, and maybe the most well-known, Haymarket Park has been named the American Association Best Playing Surface 24 years in a row, dating back to Lincoln's first year as an organization in 2001. And here was Myers on stepping away and a message to the Salt Dog fans and to Lincoln.
like I said, I'm forever grateful. I want to thank the fans. I want to thank the corporate partners. And again, I want to thank the Able family for having trust in me to run this organization. And like I said, it's went by really fast. I guess when you have a job it's fun and you're coming out to the ballpark each and every day, who wouldn't want to have this gig? And it's been a great run. Thank you, Lincoln, for letting it happen.
Well, a great run indeed. Excited for his next chapter in life, and thank you for all your service to this community. The Salt Dogs home and season opener is set for Friday, May 15th. First pitch is at 7:05 p.m. Well, staying on the diamond, let's check in on the GPAC tournament today from baseball to softball. Starting with the baseball team, Concordia, who is taking on the 6th seed Dakota Wesleyan. The Bulldogs got going early, scoring 1 run in the first, another 3 runs in the third, and then in the 6th, Carson Burnett burst this game open with a grand slam. The Bulldogs would go on to win today 12-1, so they will be back to work tomorrow at Sherman Park at 3 p.m. As for the Concordia softball team, the Bulldogs went up against the 2 seed and tournament host Dordt University today. A hard-fought battle that went Dort's way. The Bulldogs got out to a stellar start, leading 2-0 after the second inning, but Dordt closed the gap, especially in the fourth, scoring 3 runs there. The final of the night, 6-4. Still a very solid season for Concordia. We'll transition to some Husker news. Let's talk some Nebraska basketball. The Huskers officially signing San Diego State transfer Taj DeGorville, who is a 6'5" guard from Las Vegas, who comes to Lincoln after spending the past 2 seasons with the Aztecs. He averaged 5.5 points, 3 assists, and 2.8 rebounds per game with the team last season. And finally, per reports, the Huskers have also signed new big man South Dakota State transfer Damone Wilkinson, who confirmed the news via his Instagram. The 6'10", 245-pound redshirt sophomore averaged 13.9 points per game a season ago. And that'll do it for sports. Rod, will send things back over to you.
Thank you, Nate. Let's check in with Rusty and get a final check of your forecast. Rusty.
We're going to see temperatures that are a little cool tomorrow morning. Right now, there's a chill in the air, 50s for everybody. By tomorrow morning, 20s and 30s. So because of that, a frost advisory in central and eastern Nebraska may be needed again Saturday morning, because temperatures after warming up into the 60s, lower 60s on Friday, we drop back into the 20s and 30s early Saturday morning. A cool couple of mornings ahead.
Thank you, Rusty, and thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you right at 8 o'clock tonight.